Welcome to another episode of Distilling the West. I'm your host, Dan, joined by my co-host, Dave. How you doing over there, Dave?
I'm on the mend. I've been fighting with a bout of bronchitis for the last month, so it's good to be back.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're back in the saddle and you're feeling good. We have great guests on today that I'm really excited about. John and Deborah Patt out of Kingman, Arizona, and Desert Diamond Distillery. How you guys doing today?
Great. We're having a good time.
Hi. Thanks
Nice.
for having us on.
Yeah, I'm super excited. You guys are our first Arizona distillery, and that's suiting, right? Because you're the oldest craft distillery in Arizona, right? Am I right there?
You're correct. We did inherit that title by
Okay.
attrition, but
Yep.
we have held it for close to 16 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we first started, I thought I could finally mentor, but that didn't happen. Instead, we've been paving the road.
Yeah, well, that's a long period of time, especially here in the West. So you guys have that staying power for sure. Yeah, so I was super excited when you guys agreed to be on the podcast, and I think I showed you our little pin map, and we got a blank Arizona. So you guys will be our first pin in the state of Arizona. So I'm really excited to have you guys on today and just kind of understand.
Cooling right now.
Yeah.
Where's Kingwood?
Yeah. Yeah, let's talk about that. I looked on the map. It's a little bit over 2 hours southeast of Las Vegas and a little over 2 hours east of Flagstaff, Arizona. Is that right? You're right on the border there, right?
Bars west of Flagstaff.
Or west. Yeah, sorry, I flipped that. Yeah.
Yep. It's a cute little town and a lot of retirement here. It's, I guess, your gas stop on the way to anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, right off Route 66, right?
Yeah, we always kid around. We're like a little oasis in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, definitely. And so before we jump into the distillery itself, we want to hear about you guys and what your background is. What were you doing before you opened up a distillery?
I'll let John start.
Well, we used to make money. And then I had this crazy idea to do a distillery, and she enabled. But background wise, I'm kind of all over the place. I was a jack of a lot of different things. I guess I started in my young days in the scrap metals business and the smelting metals.
Okay.
Progressed to, we've done all kinds of things. We've had restaurants, we've had wine bars. We grew grapes in North Carolina, thought we were going to start a winery there. That kind of fell apart. I've refurbished telephones. I've been in and around telecommunications a lot. I don't know. We've done a lot of different things. We've built a lot of different things.
A serial entrepreneur.
From when I was like 8 years old. Yeah.
That's all. You got our producer's respect on the telecom.
Been with beans and rice. I'm sorry.
You got our producer's respect on the telecom. That's the industry he's in when he's not doing podcasts.
There you go. Yeah, I ran scrap metals in Tampa, Florida for years out of GTE.
Yeah, I lived in Tampa for many years.
Yep. So yeah, we did 3 stints in Florida. That's actually where we met in Orlando. Like a few years ago, let's put it that way. Yeah, we've done a lot of different things, and we sold out of our last business in 2008. And we've always been a busy little whatever couple.
Yeah.
And she had this crazy idea to do a distilling workshop. And somehow, I don't know if it was going there or coming home, we hit our head. And by the time we woke up, we had a distillery. And here we are.
Yeah.
Right. Almost 17 years later.
That's awesome.
We've been open to the public for about 16, but I spent about a year in here trying to figure out what kind of foolishness I was going to do. And yeah, I don't, I had this crazy idea that craft was you made everything. So we do make 100%. We've never been able to be farm to table. If anybody looks up Kingman, it's not ideal for row crops or sugar cane for that matter.
Right.
So we source our raw materials.
Did I see that was coming from Louisiana? Is that right?
Yep. We do a sugarcane molasses out of Louisiana.
Okay.
We get our grains from Four Corners region, which, for those that aren't familiar, what is that? The Colorado, Utah, Arizona. What am I missing? The Mexico,
Yeah.
and it's tribal. It's all Ute tribe, and they do an awesome job. And I've worked with them for quite a few years.
Nice. Very cool. Well, and how about you, Deborah?
So, as John said, we met in Florida, and I was trying to get hired down there. My degree was in computer science and engineering, and I was thinking, wow, the big corporations are down there for, NASA, and that was my thing. And I ended up being hired by a private company that did, um, what did they do? Estimating,
Mustang.
cost estimating. And we worked for the Corps of Engineers and Disney and did that for a couple of years. And then when we got married, we went to North Carolina and we were inaugural members of the North Carolina Wine Grape Association.
Oh, cool.
So when he says we attempted to do a winery, he means we jumped in with both feet and were really involved in the whole North Carolina Wine Grape Association. We knew all the people involved. We started an 8-acre grape vineyard and had that for at least 6 or 7 years and built the winery. Because of partner trouble, we did not finish that up. So it did not get finished. It was actually sold and he moved shortly thereafter back to Florida and then out here 2 years later. So that's when we said, hey, why don't we go winery or brewery again? And that's how the workshop came about. And this workshop happened to have distilling. And that's when he said we hit our head because we both liked the beautiful still that was at that workshop. It was, who doesn't like the eye candy
Yeah.
of these wonderful production units, and we just loved it. We said we got to explore this more. We ended up over in California checking out other businesses. What kind of workshops did we go to over there? We ended up visiting.
Well, we mostly were at St. George.
Okay.
What's this?
Alameda.
Yep.
Wasn't that Hangar 9? Hangar 1 or I think Hangar 1 had a workshop.
Well, St. George.
Okay.
Oh, it is St. George. That's right. That was when it was St. George. So
Yeah.
things have changed a lot since then. And already I'm dating myself way back at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And after all that, we did 5 years of investigation before we bought the land here in 2008.
Mhm.
So we bought the land, ordered the equipment, and really jumped in 2008. We didn't open to the public till 2010, so it was a 2-year build up. You really have to have a plan,
Mm-hmm.
So
And so I guess the first question is why Kingman?
It wasn't the business climate. I had this crazy idea that Jack made in the middle of nowhere. I forgot they had 150 years on me. Been playing catch up ever since. That being said, we really came here for the climate. My intent all along was age spirit.
Okay.
And, as you know, we're in a very dry climate.
Yeah.
Your issue is the angel share.
Yeah.
We knew we were going to have to humidify. That didn't take us long to figure that out. But we came here because the desert in this area, everything's elevation out west. And the elevation here actually worked out the way we had hoped. But we took a shot at, we have a hot summer, but not real hot.
Okay.
And we have winter, but not real cold.
Oh.
But as you know, Tennessee, Kentucky, a lot of their aging and their speed of their aging has to do with that change in seasonal temperatures and things. And that's what we really took a shot at. And you got to remember, there wasn't much to go on. We did our homework, but it wasn't like it came with a manual.
Right.
at the time, was there 200 craft distilleries across the nation?
It was that.
Maybe.
Right.
But so many of them were
So-
starting out. They had no track record.
No
Right.
track
Mhm.
record.
I mean, honestly, there was maybe 2 dozen that had a history.
Yeah.
and none of them were in our area.
Yeah.
So we have been very fortunate in that the aging has worked out the way we had hoped.
Nice.
And we have 15-year spirit right now. We have some of the oldest rum in the continental US.
That's awesome.
And we're very proud of that. And the fact that we still can be commercially viable. And our goal from day one was to make 20-year-old spirit. And we're pretty sure we're going to be able to do that and still be commercially viable.
Well, good for you for
We'll still have enough left.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Good for you for putting enough away to have some stock and not having to dip into that. Yeah.
Well, that and the evaporation.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem that a lot of our compadres are having in the bigger, lower lying areas. 10 years and the evaporation is huge.
Yeah, and you
Modern.
you mentioned the elevation. What elevation are you guys at?
We're around 3,300.
Okay, yeah, that's a good little chunk there.
Yeah.
And I was looking at you guys on Google Maps. You're kind of just outside of town, and then you kind of have the mountains right around you guys, and then out to the east it opens up kind of more towards the desert, right?
Yeah, and part of that location is in Arizona. We were considered. Remember, there's only one other distillery at the time we started, and they considered us heavy industrial.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So we had to deal with all of that.
Yeah, a lot of regulation there. Where to build.
We talk about this with people that want to get into the business. A lot has changed. People didn't know what we were doing. They were trying to compare us to a brewery, which is very different,
Right.
even though it's similar in the fermentation side. Yeah, you kind of had to bend. You had to be a little bit flexible to try to figure out and make it work. There wasn't much to go on.
Yeah. So I guess what would you say the biggest challenges were back then when you first had the idea of opening the distillery out there?
Um, from a building, an actual getting it started, then I would say the local officials, because they have no idea what we were doing. The
Yeah.
feds kind of had an idea because there were established distilleries. The state kind of had an idea. But we've done a lot of lobbying too, like other states, to
Yeah.
get changes
Yeah.
to more accommodating to marketing and getting our product out there. But you're dealing with local officials to get your actual physical building going. I mean, your day-to-day operations, your fire codes, your
Yeah.
health departments, and all this kind of stuff. And it wasn't that they weren't cooperative; they just didn't. They didn't understand what we were doing, so there's a lot of apprehension and a lot of providing of information
Yeah.
to try to.
Yeah, a lot of uneducated folks they hear still and they think bomb. And then they hear distilled spirits and they hear, oh, you might make someone blind. And it's like those are, misconceptions. Of course, it's a flammable thing and you got to be careful. But I know that a lot of folks kind of battle that education piece. And yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's at every level. When right now every state's different, but in Arizona we can do festivals. So not everybody knows in small towns around Arizona that festivals are legal for distilleries to do. So we don't get the invitations like a winery or a brewery would get.
Yeah.
And if we want to go to one, we have to make sure it's not a drunk fest because we don't want to be associated with it.
Right.
So because they always blame it on the distillery. So even though our tastes are the same amount of alcohol
Right.
as a wine taste or a beer taste,
Yeah.
we're the ones that get blamed for the drunkenness.
Yeah.
So sometimes we just say no, we can't,
Mm.
take part. And not ignorance, but just misinformation out there, or the lack of the new information. Even though it's been legal for over 10 years now, people think they know the law, but that was more than 10 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why we're lobbyists.
Yeah, and you guys know that everything is proportioned. We don't serve any more alcohol and beer, and they look at you like, no, you're the hard stuff.
Right.
You get proportioned. Everything's
Yeah.
proportioned.
Right. They're not drinking a whole bottle of rum. They're drinking a taste.
Yeah.
Where a winery's pouring an ounce, we're pouring a quarter ounce.
Yep.
You're not getting any more alcohol.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
And
Right.
I guess speaking of tasting,
Yes.
Yeah.
we have some fantastic alcohol in our glass. Would you mind introducing our listeners and viewers to what we're trying?
Now, is that the 6-year, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the 6-year rum, obviously, it is a rum that's been aged in a new wood barrel, white oak and French oak. So it's aging in a whiskey barrel, basically, a whiskey bourbon barrel, new wood. And that's just imparts a lot of nice flavor. It's on the first fill, and that flavor is really robust enough to just balance out the sweetness of the rum and make it not so sweet. Now, we don't add sugar, we don't add flavor or color, so it's a very clean product, and all that flavor yet is happening in 6 years with Mother Nature in the barrel
Yeah.
completely. So, um, one of our 6 years has made it into the top 20 at the IWSC in London, and that just right. I mean, this is one of my favorites to sip, and I'm a red wine drinker outside
Okay.
our building. I am not a big cocktail person. The stuff out in the real world is very harsh and burny to me personally. And I would say for any wine drinker who comes across your, you know, uh, information, they need to get out and try the top tier stuff because that's the stuff their palate is going to enjoy.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, right off the bat, we start with the nose here. I can just bury my nose in this. I do not get much ethanol blast, which I always say is a hallmark of a well-made craft spirit. I get a lot of great sugary candy notes on this. This is absolutely fantastic. I'm really liking this. How about you, Dave?
Yeah, on the palate, this is
So I'll give
delicious.
a little bit more insight.
Yeah.
I'm going to just backtrack a little bit. One of the things, not only were we making our spirit here, well, I'd always say we jumped off a cliff without a parachute. And part of that was we were one of the first distilleries, if not the first, in the continental U.S. to age rum in new barrels.
Mm.
So, I mean, literally, I describe it as jumping off a cliff without a parachute.
Right.
That was a dramatic choice. And you have to commit. You don't put up one barrel and wait 6 years and see how that goes.
Yeah, I guess compared to the fresh off the still rum, how does that age and how does that barrel affect the palate, the flavor?
Well, I always describe spirit as 50% the production part and 50% the barrel aging.
Mhm.
So if you're not putting good product in the barrel, it's gonna, even with a good barrel situation and everything, you're still not gonna get a great spirit. And that's not tooting my own horn, but a distiller, there's a lot that we can do to get to a good spirit going into the barrel.
Right.
So I guess to answer your question, my spirit off the still is drinkable.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Mhm.
Yeah.
even on a high cruise.
Yeah.
That makes a big difference.
Definitely. So this is sitting at 80 proof.
But I personally think that's if I'm in a distillery, and I think that's where it starts for me as a distiller. Comparing myself to another distiller.
Yeah,
Your
definitely.
stuff is drinkable off the still you've made. You're right there. It's a huge. There's a lot of merit to cuts and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, this
I
is
apologize, but my wife has been having the same issues as.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been rough. I might have to do the same thing at some point. So
The good thing is we've got some great noise canceling stuff. So like honestly, can't even hear it on our end. So we're all good. Don't worry about it. Yeah, no, this is fantastic, and I like it how in the beginning of the taste, I get kind of more of those lighter, maybe like a white sugar taste or a dessert on it. And then as it progresses on the taste, maybe towards the finish there, I get more of that deeper, darker molasses taste coming through. And it's definitely not overpowering. And then there at the end, there's kind of that good funk from the molasses that sometimes is from rum, and not funk in a bad way anyway. I think hogo is the term for rum. But I get that on the end, and it's not overpowering at all. But it's nice because then it lets you know, hey, this is made from some good quality molasses that you guys are sourcing there from Louisiana, right?
Yes,
Yeah, great.
Do you just source from a single place, or is it multiple
I
things?
do.
Okay.
Consistent raw material to me is very important.
You want to share? Can you share who you're getting it from? Give them some props, or is that more of an industry secret for you?
Yeah, I don't normally divulge.
Okay,
Okay.
that's fair. That's fair.
Totally fair.
Yeah, I mentioned kind of when we were talking before we started recording that like rum was my college spirit, and it was the Bacardis, the Captain Morgans, and kind of.
Steam rum and cokes, and I couldn't remember anything, and now I make it.
Yep,
So.
exactly. Well, you do not make that. That's for sure. I couldn't imagine sipping on some of that stuff just neat in a glass. And it's sweet, it's delicious, it's flavorful. Dan mentioned that hogo, that little bit of funkiness at the end. You don't get that with the cheap stuff. So, yeah, I could easily see sipping on this neat. So you're doing
You
it.
move to the 12-year, which I believe you have there.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
tends to take on a lot of whiskey character on the front, and I always say I make rum with as much complexity as any whiskey. You really have a hard time when you get into 10 years or older on our spirits,
Okay.
telling it's a rum per se till the very end. It doesn't have that sour mash or malted barley or finish. We do use a hybrid barrel, so we get a lot of cinnamon out of the French and
Okay.
a lot of red tones. Of course, a lot of vanilla. So I don't know if I answered your question before, but the barrels are very important, and but I don't ever take away from fermentation, raw material. I always use a comparison to like field corn. You make a lot of alcohol, but you have no character.
Right.
You use white sugar, it's bleached, it has no character. You're making a lot of alcohol. So, and I use that drastic comparison to just show how important raw material is.
While you're tasting the 12-year, we've only been bringing out anything over 10 since about what, 2021, 2020?
That's the last 5 years.
Yeah.
20, I believe.
So when we first entered the 10-year into the IWSC in London, I think
97.
Huh?
97 and the 6 years of 95.
Yeah, the 10-year got in 97, so that was a nice gold medal.
I'm drinking right now is a 97.
Okay.
Okay. Nice.
And that was from
The
last year.
6 year was a 95 last year in San Francisco. So
Nice.
So the first year we got two 90s, I think a 97 and a
95.
95, and that they were 9th and 18th in the world. That was in 2021.
And you're pretty consistently the highest rated in the States, right? Usually number one. Is that
In
right?
the States, we're very top as from the IWSC side. Even in San Francisco, we're gonna make a plug here for my good friend down in Elgin. He makes some incredible rum too,
Yeah.
and we're friends, but we love to compete, and we're consistently in the top 1 or 2 or 3 in the United States, continental United States.
And he hasn't updated his website, so because we won first in the world at the IWSC in 2023, and he still has that on his website.
Now, maybe if I got knocked out at first, I might not update my site either.
So we always kid around, we don't ever say we make the best, but we make some of the best rum in the world, and it comes out of the desert,
Yeah, that's
Which is-
amazing.
which we're very proud of.
Yeah, before the interview, you were saying 1 year you won out over Foursquare and Diplomatico and some of those big.
We
Uh,
scored a perfect score at IWSC International World Spirits Competition, London.
That's 2023.
yeah.
It is the oldest competition in the world
Yeah.
since 1969.
Wow.
58 years.
And I want to say in what is that, 57 years? Less than 50 rums have ever had a perfect score, and one of them came from Kingman, Arizona. So
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Kudos to you guys.
for what it's worth, it's the only award I'm really proud of. I kind of call it the Cy Young Award, because it's pretty exclusive, but I also use that comparison because it's a team effort.
Mm-hmm.
It's you don't win the Cy Young if you're 0-20.
Right. So,
You need a good, strong team. It's a team effort. It's my name on the award per se, but it's everybody that puts into this outfit.
yeah, with that, how big is your team?
We're a very small team. Very small. We're still a very mom and pop
Okay.
organization. We pride ourselves on making everything. And honestly, we started in Kingman, Arizona in an industry that was very nouveau, and we've had plenty of struggles. I
Yeah.
would say we really didn't come into our own until about 2021.
I always tell people by the time COVID hit, we looked at each other and went, of course there's a world pandemic. Why wouldn't there be?
Right, when you hit your stride. Yep.
No problem.
What else could they throw at us?
Let's go.
You got this.
Let's come through this.
I mean, honestly, we won a gold medal in San Francisco with our first 2-year rum in 2012.
Okay.
Nice.
But and the awards, we always say the awards offer validation for wasting your time and come and try our stuff. That's what we say.
Yeah.
It's no guarantee you're going to love our stuff. You never get that, but it changed our persona with people, and you can say a brewery or a winery in the middle of nowhere. Why would we go there? Why would we go to a distillery in Kingman, Arizona? And that's what changed. There was this just change in validity to what we were doing. Like, maybe we ought to go check that out.
Yeah.
We actually get people from very famous areas of rum to come here and try to prove us wrong.
Nice.
Yes, they come in telling us that we know that this can't be correct. We're going to come in and prove it to you, and they leave with a few bottles.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's never that we're better, but that we're in that crowd,
Yeah.
These are people from the Caribbean, from rum areas around the world, and they've done their homework, and they're just coming in because they're going by.
Yeah.
They're going to prove us wrong. It can't possibly be like their home country. It's very fun.
Yeah. So let's get into this 12-year here. Is this also sitting at 80 proof, or do we
90.
90? Okay, so we bump up a little bit here.
Yes.
I'm getting that nice warmth from that bump up on the proof, and I think I get some of the molasses or darker sweetness up on the front here with this older age on it, and then maybe power of suggestion. But like you said, that cinnamon, I get a little bit of that. Yeah, and maybe that's due to the French oak. Maybe you get a little the spice coming in from the French oak. You think? Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah. And was the 6-year? Do you also use the hybrid
Yes.
barrels?
That is
as
my
well?
barrel.
That's your
Okay.
okay.
Other than when we get into the whiskeys, the bourbon, of course, I use the West Virginia White American solid. But
Right.
for my rums, it's all a new White American and a hybrid French oak heads, White American oak staves.
And what kind of still are you guys running out there?
Oh, we run an Arnold Holstein, 1,000 liter, column reflux.
Okay.
That's when we did workshop and everything like that, I pretty much knew the still I wanted and then worked everything else around it. A little bit of background: when we were building, we went. They offered us an semi-automated system, and not that automation was new technology, but to the artisan world, when we started, it was very new, and it pretty much allows me to run the whole thing by myself.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
And we were the first semi-automated production room of that size in the nation at that time. And we were doing workshops 4 or 5 times
Mhm.
a year for the first 4 or 5 years for the group that put in our production room, which was should be it's Bavarian Brewery Technologies out of California.
Okay, that's really cool. And I guess
And that's how we met a lot of the people that got in the business in that era, and then it just mushroomed.
yeah. Now, were you thinking rum, right off the bat? Was that always the plan?
Oh, no. I guess a little bit of detail. We lived out in Nevada at the time,
Okay.
which in Boulder City outside of Vegas. And we were actually trying to do something in Nevada, and it just wasn't, the laws were prohibitive at the time.
Mhm.
But we were working with a vodka idea.
Okay.
And when we decided to come here, it was more about the aging. And I spent almost a year in here trying to figure out what the heck I was going to do. Played with everything from the traditional style barrels to, from used barrels, new barrels, whiskey, rum. There were, we even have aging brandy here.
Oh, really?
But these types of things, you can't, I don't want to say you can't hang your hat on, but they're hard to market.
Yeah, for sure. Brandy's not
You know?
the same category. Mhm.
And I think we're working on I want to say a 12-year brandy,
Yeah.
11 or 12 years.
You guys
And
have
we
a
haven't
good stock, by the way.
released any of it. So now we're starting to get to where I feel proud of it, and we might release some of that too. But we're always trying to keep something in the kitty for
Yeah. Special occasion?
so.
Is there
But
a
yeah,
is there a local winery that you're sourcing the grapes or
I
wine
haven't
from?
done any brandy lately. Most of what I have is pretty old.
Okay, right, yeah.
Um, a lot of the wineries are not near us, so they're having others do the distillation now.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, it was from Arizona.
It was all Arizona,
Nice.
but I haven't done much lately.
Yeah, definitely.
So you mentioned that these were first fill barrels that they were going into. Do you have like a barrel program where you share and reuse barrels or anything like that?
We generally sell to breweries, meaderies, wineries. Yes.
Very cool.
We're very small. I would say we release maybe 5 barrels a year. So there's even craft breweries that we can't provide enough. So
Okay.
we actually sell to very small breweries, wineries, meaderies.
And it must have
That
been
only eat it occasionally.
it must have been because you were talking about your brandy there, but as I sit here with this 12-year in the glass, I kind of get that nice like raisiny character and like kind of a brown sugar that sort of
We
almost.
actually talk about the 6 year with that,
Mm.
and I never thought about the 12, but we refer to a cognac-y kind of character
Yeah.
in this year. So I definitely would agree with that.
Yeah, because I was trying to pinpoint what that was, and then you talking about the brandy just kind of jogged my memory there because I was like, I've tasted this before, and I I can remember what it is. I just can't put the words to it. So thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things we notice with people who are like yourselves, who are connoisseurs of kind of the marketplace rums and other spirits, is when they come to our bar and they taste the ones that have been aged here, made from scratch, totally top tier, nothing added to them, nothing into them. It's such a long finish
Hmm.
on the product on your palate, and it just keeps getting better over the minutes, and it just keeps opening up, kind of like a really good wine. And so I always tell people it's like sipping wine. The third sip's different than the first sip, and it just keeps opening up and opening up. And until you experience it, you almost can't believe it.
Yeah.
It's there's hardly any spirits that hit your palate like a really good wine.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So as a side note, I mean, basically in spirits, people are far more educated on whiskey
Right.
slash the P word. I don't use that word very often.
Oh, sure.
Um, so there's this like initial shock that we just basically pour almost without talking because whatever we say about rum usually goes in one ear and out the
Right.
other. Because their experience is, and I won't use any names, but the main brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I say generic in the sense that whatever's in the grocery store. They've never experienced that upper end or even middle
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
of the road.
I agree.
Yeah. Like I said before, this is definitely not that.
Yeah.
So it's almost like pour and let them get over the shock first. And then we start talking because there's this disbelief that that's even possible that you can do that with a rum.
Yeah. And to me, even at 40%, like the alcohol, there's no burn. There's zero burn on that 6 year. I mean, there's a little bit of spice, I would say, to the 12, but it's still not burned. It's very, very, very easy to drink by itself. And I think that goes a long way. Just and like I said, rum is not something I normally sip in a glass. It's a mixer, and this is so much better than that.
We have to get over that
Yeah.
with 99 out of 100 customers.
Unfortunately, the rums from the marketplace are so full of other things
Mhm.
that they have that cloyingly sweet taste. And people come into our place saying, I don't want any rum. Or they'll start a tasting and say, can I skip these first two? Because they say rum.
Right.
And we have to kind of get them over that hurdle. Like, this is not going to be like what you've tasted before.
Right.
And once they realize that, they're good with it. But it's that initial, like, I don't want to taste any rum because I know what that tastes like. As
Yeah.
they do know. And it's hard to realize that there's something different on the marketplace. But when you come to craft, and we use this, I always say this, there's 2,250 craft distilleries this year across the nation. You won't find them at your local restaurants,
Right.
at your local stores, at your local bars. They are out of the marketplace. They're not allowed to play. In general, you might find one here or one there, but they're just not available for the general consumer to find. So you really have to go and walk to that distillery
Yeah.
that's in your area, find out if they're making product, and then taste it because that's the only way you're going to find top tier.
Yeah. Definitely.
And so I guess we normally talk about where to find product at the end of the interview, but I'm curious, where do you find your craft rum?
We pretty much wholesale on a general basis, Arizona and California, the agave rum.
Okay.
When we taste that at the end, you'll see it's very unique.
Yeah.
We don't follow tradition of the Caribbean.
Right.
That's not that we don't like the Caribbean. We just make rum in Arizona, and we wanted to have this identity, and it's worked out really well for us. We do have now a third-party arrangement out of California.
It's touchofmexico.com,
Okay.
and they have about 6 of our products that can ship to 46 states. And we've been with them 1 year out of the 17 years.
Yeah.
And it's taken us a while to put our head around the fact that our customers from 46 states can get our product. We're just now starting to advertise about that because for the longest time, we've really been stuck in Arizona.
Right.
It has taken us a few months to really realize, hey, now our customers can find us in the other states as well.
So are you in restaurants or anything like that in your area?
That comes and goes.
Okay.
Food and beverage directors, bartenders,
Mhm.
everything is fluid. And 1 minute you're popular, and the next minute
You're not.
you're not. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see someone moves on from
we-
a position.
Yeah, I think that just goes with the big names and bulk buying and going through those official channels. In fact, many people, even here in Arizona, don't believe that they can buy direct from us wholesale because
Okay.
that's legal for us, not necessarily in other states, but we can actually wholesale to a restaurant or a bar directly. That's not well known, and they don't know that that's legal, so
Yeah.
they don't do it.
Yeah, that's another transition. We had a big distributor for years, and they dropped us after COVID.
Okay.
So we're trying to readjust, and we're not exactly young chickens either. So, you know, and we're 3.5 hours from what we call the great state of Maricopa, which is Phoenix,
Yeah.
which is
Right.
the heartbeat of Arizona.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it is now, 5 million people, whatever.
Right.
So we're having, and hasn't changed in 17 years. We're like a chameleon. We have to change our colors and our stripes and our whatever all the time. We're constantly having to reevaluate and change directions. And then what we talked about with the rum, the consumers, we can be on a shelf, we can have awards, and they won't touch us because it's a rum.
Right.
So we're constantly educating.
Right.
What's the next on their list? Bourbon?
Oh yeah.
Let's do the 2-year bourbon. Now, this is our newest.
Oh, the bourbon? Are we doing the bourbon?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a 2 year. Yeah.
that's the 2-year. That's the newest product out,
Okay.
and it's our first bourbon.
It's a weeded bourbon here again. I'm kind of zeroed in on the rum, so I can't be very creative. So I call the whiskeys my play toys
Okay.
because I still can be an artist. So I don't try to necessarily make what everybody else is making. Not that I'm unique, but I try to make spirits that are not as common as some of the others.
Yeah. And here again, I can just bury my nose in the glass. Don't need to open my mouth. Not
For a
get,
2 year
yeah.
spirit, that's
Right.
very, very solid.
Yeah.
Like I say, it was good off the still.
Yeah.
And that's where you start. I do it. It's an 80-20, 80 corn, 20 wheat. It is a not a heavy char, a medium char, some toast, and it's a West Virginia barrel.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for that barrel info there. Yeah. I think I'm picking out both the corn and the wheat in there. Pretty grain forward. I mean, that's kind of what you would expect on a 2-year product, but I get the softness of the wheat. And I think that corn also adds in a nice sweet component to it. Yeah, this is good for a 2-year whiskey for sure. I'm liking this.
I kind of kid around with the whiskey people. I say my whiskey's sweeter than my rum.
And it really is.
To some degree, it is.
Yeah. I mean, and I guess we're normally whiskey drinkers, so that sweetness from the corn really does stand out. And like Dan said, for me, I get a lot of the grain up front, and then that sweetness kind of kicks in and carries through the finish. I'm not normally a huge wheated guy. It's not my favorite. Then this is delicious. The grains you said were from the Four Corners, so that's what, just a couple hours from you guys, right?
Right. Yes.
So it's still local, and you kind of get that.
We consider local. It technically comes out of Utah, so we don't advertise in all Arizona.
Yeah. I mean, to me, local. It's still local. It's not that far away. You're not buying processed corn or
That's
processed
if we
grain.
live in the West.
Yeah. That very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Everything's a couple of hours.
To an East Coaster, but as the crow flies,
Yeah.
you can go from Washington D.C. to Maine in 5 hours?
Right.
Not here. You went from Kingman to L.A.
Right. Yeah. In a little over 5 hours, I was seeing. That's not too bad. You get a lot of people passing through on Route 66 there coming from.
66 and I-40.
Yeah.
We're just 4 miles from I-40, so people, once they find us and they find the way, it's just really quick
Yeah, it's
to
easy
get
head
here
stop.
from right off the exit. The first time they always say, "Gosh, that's a long way." It's a long way when you're looking for your turn,
Mm-hmm.
But that's once you find it, not far at all.
Yeah.
7 minutes off the highway.
Totally. Well, and I would say what's striking me so far, we're about midway through here, is I think a lot of people are going to be thinking about Arizona. They're going to think a harsh climate when they think of barrel aged products. They might be thinking that it might be over tannified, like getting too many tannins or harsh. And I'm not getting any of that from any of these products. So I'm really hats off to you guys for um, not letting the desert sun, uh, be too harsh on these barrels. I think you guys are doing a
Well,
great
that was
job.
actually a little bit of why we chose Kingman.
Yeah.
And we go for the really harsh climates,
Mhm.
for cold or hot.
Yeah.
Chose something that we thought would be a little bit more temperate. And as we didn't have, it didn't come with a manual. If we could, all that's part of our fortune.
Yeah.
It's not a monetary fortune per se, but it has created. I always say we control the what, when, and where, but we didn't control the results.
Right.
Mother Nature has been very good to us.
And I don't know if people can see that, but there are just some legs for days on this glass. It's got some nice viscosity on it. Yeah.
Well, that'll lead us right into that 6-year corn,
Yeah.
which is 100% corn, which is a very rare, well, much rarer whiskey.
Yeah.
And I am very impressed by the 4-year. I thought was kind of marginal, but the 6-year I put out, it's
Really stands out.
very nice spirit. I think that's what you're going to try next.
And did I see on Instagram the other day, you guys were doing the wax dip on the bottles on that 6-year corn? Was I seeing? Yeah.
We've always done the
I
wax.
think the black wax Instagram was
The bourbon.
the bourbon.
Okay.
And then we were
Hopper is the 6-year.
Okay.
Yeah, we
That's
were
what I
actually doing the label on the 6-year corn, one of those Instagram. I try to get my daughters always say, "Mom, get more videos," and I forget,
Right.
So when I do, I try to get it out there.
Yeah. Deep in the process. I know you guys are busy. It's busy being a distiller, right?
Yeah. Social media is what, one of my hats.
Right. And
Her head. I don't wear that.
And earlier, did I hear you guys say that you pretty quickly figured out that you needed to humidify your
Correct.
maturation warehouses?
Otherwise, the angels would have drank us silly.
Yeah, I could imagine.
When we first started, we were losing 10% in 4 months.
Wow.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So is that just kind of like a mister system through?
No. Keep it simple. It's 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. It's swamp cooler.
Okay. Yeah. That.
We've worked out, airflow and all that kind of stuff over the years.
Yeah.
We pretty much have it perfected. But swamp cooler.
Okay. Yeah. No. Works. That makes total sense because then you get the cooler temperature coming in too.
Yeah, well, the more you I mean, we still get a nice temperature conflict or contrast, which is very important to what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Has anybody ever talked about if you do the Bourbon Trail, they talk about the climate a lot,
Right.
but I don't know if I should elaborate on that or what. But
We'd love to hear it from you.
we're putting a high proof spirit in a barrel. So there is a lot of expansion and contraction by change of temperature. And that's what we're after. It's not that you can't make great spirit in a cold climate or a hot climate, but it's not that Tennessee, Kentucky necessarily makes better whiskey than the world, but they can do it a lot faster. At 7 or 8 years versus like 20.
Yeah.
And a lot of that has to do with that change in temperature.
Mm-hmm.
When you're heating, you're expanding, and when you're cooling, you're contracting, and this is moving it around in the barrel. Whereas, if you have a hot temperature or a cold temperature, it's very static.
Right.
So whatever's near the wood is doing its thing, but in here nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Not as much.
Right.
And this is what we were after.
And so what'd you say the temperature swings were there between the
We
highs
get
and lows?
daily swing. When you're in the desert, you can be 95 during the day and 55 at night.
Okay.
That doesn't when you have a bigger amount of barrels, that doesn't affect it as much as when we first started. But the seasonal, we're around 100 in the summer and we're We get night temperatures in the winter around 30,
Okay.
25, 30, 35.
So you're still getting a lot of alcohol flowing between in and out of the barrel staves and everything.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. And so I guess a question I had was, you said this was 80/20. Um, what drove you to decide to go with wheat and that kind of that mash bill?
Trying to be different. Not that a wheated bourbon is different anymore, but it's definitely not the norm.
Right.
Yeah.
Right now,
And
it used to be.
I wanted to make something light and crisp.
Okay.
I didn't want to make a big, heavy. Use the beer terminology, a lager versus in a big bold IPA. I wanted to do something on the lager side. I wanted to be lighter.
Yeah.
I wanted to be easier drinking. Maybe open up more of a demographic, I guess. And maybe it was just me trying to be different.
I mean, also you're in a desert climate. It's way easier to drink this in the middle of the summer than it is some other alcohols out there.
That and a couple of ice cubes, and it's fun.
Yep.
It's definitely good.
We're still in an educational state. We're a little bit older, I think. I mean, we're in our 60s. And when we were kids, spirits were a big part of life, not so much wine.
Right.
I'm we've been in the wine business and we love all libation. I grew up in Wisconsin. I love my beer. Um, but I'm trying to bring spirits back into the picture more and make it fun for people.
Yeah.
Now, the way you just tasted with a 6-year corn,
Mm-hmm.
what did you taste the sweetness of it, or?
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was definitely the grain forward, I thought, with the wheat, and then the sweetness
Oh,
just
that's
really
perfect.
took over.
I
Oh,
don't think you tried the 6
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Why does not?
Well, I didn't think we had the 6-year corn in the lineup, but
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Just worry about it.
No,
I
fine.
I think next year we have the 10-year wheat going on.
Oh, okay.
You got the 10-year wheat.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should.
So I had already done wheat, 100% wheat. So I wanted to do, and then I went to 100% corn. And we, of course, when you have aged barrels around, we did some blending. And that's how I got started with making the 80/20. We kind of played around with aged spirit we had and came to that. We said, I think we like this combination.
Yeah.
It wasn't overbearing corn. It wasn't overbearing wheat. And that's why we ended up, I guess that answers your
yeah.
the mash bill.
And so this one here is the 10-year wheat.
10-year wheat.
10-year wheat.
Probably the softest thing we make.
Mm.
It's has a hint of citrus and I think quite a bit of cinnamon.
Yeah.
It's also my second favorite as a red wine drinker,
Okay.
and it's I tasted it from the 7-year onward up to the 10, and I can tell you the 10-year is stellar. I've sipped a 20 to 30-year single barrel scotch, light scotch,
Mhm.
that someone brought in and wondered why it tasted familiar, like what's going on. And I walk over and pour this one, and this one's very similar. It has a lot of the base flavors that would be in that older light scotch. And I don't know why that would be. It might be the climate because, I really have no idea.
Yeah.
Might have just been that particular one he brought.
Yeah. Yeah, I know because there's a lot of variation there for
Oh,
sure.
there is.
But yeah, it definitely has that lighter body and character. It's, kind of got that, excuse me, like a straw, maybe verging on like a clover honey color to it. And again, lots of great legs in the glass, good viscosity. Um, what proof is this one sitting at?
Maybe.
At 90 as well.
I would not have guessed from the nose.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, still get a lot of that grain, light, approachable. I'm really liking this, and I think wheat can kind of go one or two ways. Like you mentioned, a little bit of that spice, kind of a little cinnamony. I think that yeah, it's probably coming more onto that side with the little bit of spice that we can have sometimes. And so this is great because it kind of dances in between that lighter, sweeter character and body, and then you get that nice backbone of the spice, and it's warming, but it's not overly spicy by any means. So I think that kind of plays to the character, um, going through that back and forth between the sweet and spice. That's great.
Yeah, for my palate, I get mostly the sweet. I would never guess this was 90 proof. It's just, I don't, there's no burn to me. It's just so easy to sip on.
Yeah, I'm so surprised, just all these, you can just absolutely bury your nose in
Hmm.
no ethanol coming through. Mm.
And you said this is the one that did pretty well with the awards, right? Was that 2 years ago? I guess three now.
Up is the 11-year rum was.
Oh, it was the
This
11-year rum. Sorry.
this took a gold medal in L.A. What is the fair, that county? It's a pretty good
San
competition.
Clemente?
No,
No.
no, it's the L.A. County Fairplex or whatever. What do they call their competitions?
Hmm.
But it's really getting a pretty good name.
Nice.
But that was the gold medal winner of the. Actually, it was for our 7-year week.
Okay.
I don't know if we've even entered the 10-year week.
I don't think we have. I think it was a 7-year.
Okay. It's a super easy drinker. It's delicious. I would put it up there with some of the much higher age scotches and things like that in terms of just that light complexity is fantastic.
Just drop the peat, yeah.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
your peaty scotch, it's just your light scotch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
But we've been doing this a while. We lose track of.
Yeah, maybe
We don't have much of that one left. We have one more barrel in the barrel room,
Okay.
and once this one's gone, um, we'll release that one, and it'll be about 13 years or more old. So it'll be a whole different realm.
Yeah. Have you guys taken a taste of that one lately, or?
Always.
I haven't. He may have.
It's amazing the changes. Well, as a general rule, barrels, I guess, aging for about 20 years and then it becomes more of a storage vessel. But we have noticed tremendous changes from year to year.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing. Some of it maybe people won't like or I don't like. And then on the other hand, it's amazing, amazing the changes.
Yeah, we've heard a lot of stories about people trying barrels and saying this is terrible and leaving it in there for another year or two and it comes out fantastic with a completely different profile.
Yeah, if you have a good, you know, yeah, it's very hard to take crappy spirit and make good spirit out of.
Right.
Yeah, gotta start with
But
a
if
good
you have a
base.
good fundamental sound product going in, the barrel can do wondrous things. Absolutely.
Yeah, well,
Won-
I'm really liking
wonderful.
your guys' approach on a lot of these, and it is unique, but I think it's still an approachable unique. It's not like, whoa, this is out of left field or anything crazy. You guys have some really great flavors that are approachable. And I think you're doing you're doing yourself favors by not having much of that ethanol blast in there, and so I think that's going to be approachable to a lot of folks for sure.
That's pretty much what we're known for. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have the soft touch. I don't have a lot of bite,
Yeah, you're
but
you're doing well.
we raise daughters.
Okay. There you go.
Takes a lot.
Yeah.
Everybody always says, "Where'd you get the patience for this business?" We raised her.
There you go.
I've got one, so I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So, um, what are your guys' goals for the future? Like, where do you want to take the distillery? Obviously the product is amazing, and so there's a lot of different business philosophies out there. Some people love staying local, and that's what they want. Some people want the world. What is it that you guys are really after?
Wow.
I know what I would say, but I want to hear what you have to say.
We've had to change so much, and there's still so much education.
Yeah.
Um, it's hard to, and then of course economics and everything that goes with it, and the increased competition. There's far more craft distillers now. So the wholesale side is very, very difficult, as you all probably hear all the time.
Yeah.
Um, and there's a big, it can be very dangerous going from small to even mid-size.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very big step,
Yeah.
not just capital wise, but getting the brand to move. It's
Right.
one thing to get on the shelf; it's another to get it to move, as we all know.
Yeah. Right.
Collecting dust and getting thrown out is not a good thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And we've taken a lot of advice from a lot of the wineries. We've met a lot of owners from California wineries, and they've educated. There's a lot of overlap when you get to the wholesale side, and
Right.
we've learned a lot. And we've kind of, I guess we call it organic growth.
Mm-hmm.
We're not pushing it as hard as we used to try to, and that's actually helped us a lot.
Okay.
Along with the fact that we've been very fortunate. I use a lot of analogies, and one of them is an artist, painting a painting. You paint a painting, you put it out there, and if the consumer doesn't like it, you got a wall hanging in your living room.
Right.
So we're building a lot of word of mouth now.
Okay.
We have a very loyal following that returns, and our growth has been slow and steady like a turtle instead of trying to be the hare.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
Now, if somebody walked in the door tomorrow and said, we got pockets full of money and want to take it, we're business people.
Right.
We've been in business our whole lives. So we could change on a dime. But at this time, I feel like we're very proud of what we're doing, and we're gonna build it one person at a time.
Yeah, that's probably a smart move this day and age. It seems like things are kind of moving slower, and but I think there's the core consumer there that is becoming more educated and
Correct.
is liking these products with intention
Yeah.
behind them.
Yeah.
Of course, people are going to want to reach for their makers and their jack and stuff like that, but and we don't need to please everyone, right? But I think that folks like us, folks that are listeners, they're excited to explore. And I think that this is a great pathway to go down for people to explore for sure. Especially, I think you were alluding to it earlier, those whiskey drinkers. I think your rums are great for people to kind of, do the crossover that maybe
I'm
aren't.
not trying to convert people, but
Right.
just trying to expand.
Mm-hmm.
I love whiskey. I
Sure.
love wine, beer. There's a place, I think, for certain
Yeah.
varieties at a time. And
Right.
I'm just trying to show you that we can take rum to a level you've never experienced.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys are doing great.
That
on
being
that.
said, I mean, the one that you're gonna try last, the agave rum,
Yes.
that is the customer favorite, and we think it could go national. We could even take it national, I think, but except for we don't have the money for all the tastings that need to be done on
Right.
site across the nation. We don't have that part of the equation. I meant that we could literally manufacture enough
Yeah.
because of the way we do it, and it would still taste the same. It would be still high quality, and what you're tasting now wouldn't be a copycat, bulk product. It would still be the same original product. That being said, you have to have a partner to have the people on the ground, people tasting it, people introducing it.
Yeah.
And that's what we don't have. We don't have a team in all 50 states doing that. We will never have that unless, somebody wants to come in and take it national with
Right.
us.
So I guess you said you had an answer for that too. What's your answer of where in a perfect world, where would you see D3 in the future?
Ooh.
Well, we deal in reality.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
We'd love to see that agave rum get legs.
Okay.
realistically speaking, once you taste it, you can tell us, what do you think? Because it's pretty much 92% of the people that taste it at the bar buy a bottle.
Okay, that's a
That's
good
a
sign.
huge percentage.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's the people, that's people who, like my other stuff, but they definitely want that,
yeah.
along with.
So with that, the agave rum is based on your dark rum is the base spirit. Is that the same base as the 6 year that we tried initially?
No.
And okay, so
Well,
it's a different.
the white rum base, yes, but the dark rum is an expedited aging I do.
Okay, so were the first two rums the white rum base?
Well, they're all
Yeah, they're
they're
all
all
Okay,
white
yeah.
rum base, and then I
Okay.
think what he's
I
saying is
I
the different in the maturation. Like with the dark rum, they use the combo of the chips, like you were saying, the
correct.
Okay.
expedited maturation, and this is
Everything you're tasting is barrel.
barrel aged.
Okay, gotcha,
Okay.
gotcha, gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
Okay, because I mean,
Absolutely
the
correct.
base is amazing.
Yeah.
So I'll say that right now. From what we've tried so far, it yeah, I would say it's probably, if not the best rum I've tried, top two. So that I
You
would
guys are crushing it.
six.
Thank
So
you.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
High
an amazing
praise for
work.
people who taste all the time.
yeah,
No, definitely. And I want to encourage all of our listeners to go out and try Desert Diamond
for
because you
sure.
guys are doing fantastic work. And like you said, let's talk a little bit or just rehash. You mentioned the website that folks can get 6 of your spirits on, right?
Yes, touchofmexico.com.
Touchofmexico.com.
And they
And
are out of California, so
yeah,
they ship to 46 states. People can send a gift, So that's kind of exciting. We have been really letting people know about that the last 6 months.
and
Sure.
which of your 6 spirits can people get on that touchofmexico.com?
Oh boy, it's the dark rum, the agave rum, the corn whiskey moonshine,
Okay.
the 4-year corn whiskey. I'm
The 10-year rum and the 4-year rum.
Yes, a 10-year rum, which is one of our high-end rums,
Okay.
and the 4-year rum, the black wax rum.
Ooh, this okay
Yeah.
on the nose. I'm just gonna dive in here because I took a smell here, and this is great, just right out of the glass.
That's
And
where you get the Southwest because you're getting that tequila, that agave nose right there.
yeah, it's kind of like
You wanted something that screams Southwest right here.
okay, yeah. I'm getting
Finishes
a really
yeah.
nice baked good. Like I'm getting a lot of that like like the crumble top on a like a Dutch apple pie.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, like a coffee cake is what I was thinking.
Okay,
As
coffee
soon as
cake.
you
Yeah.
said that crumble on the
Crumble.
top layer.
Yep. Where you get
I'm gonna use that at the tasty bar.
do it. Yeah, definitely. No, because you get that sugariness. You get that nice sort of the Maillard reaction on the flour, and maybe just a little subtle baking spice note on there. But haven't even tasted it, and I'm seeing high praises here. So I'll go on a taste, Dave. You want?
Yeah, and I'll say I mentioned this before on the podcast. I am 100% not a tequila person. My very first really bad alcohol experience was tequila, and that's what stuck with me. And so, just the agave is usually not my thing. And before we started the interview, I mentioned that this is 100% something I want to try because I'm trying to push past that. And as Dan said, the nose so far is fantastic. It's that coffee cake crumble at the top is that baking, that sweet baked spice note I get, and so I'm
For me
excited to try it.
personally, the nose and your finish or whatever are totally different on this spirit.
Yeah,
Okay,
I would agree with that.
I think it changes.
Mm-hmm.
What you're going into a picture when you first start out is not the way you finish.
Yeah. I do get some on the taste. I do get some more of those like tequila-y agave spirit notes on it. And then I didn't get anything citrus. So when you said citrus, I was like, no, not getting that. But then, like you said, it changed. And then kind of more towards the finish, it was like a nice, just quick lemony citrus that came in there.
Some people taste a little honey, like a honey whiskey.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Um,
I'm getting some of those molassesy brown sugar notes coming in too. This is great, and I'm like you
That's
said.
a really friendly finish.
Yes, it is.
Flavored things people are looking to rinse their mouth with,
I'm kind of viewing
This
it.
has a very
I'm kind of viewing a triangle right now, and I think with this one, you're really gonna please your rum folks, you're gonna please your tequila folks, and you're gonna please your whiskey folks with this one. So I can
agreed.
see it's got kind of that crossover between the three of them. That's great.
And I think that's why we think it has merit
Yeah, for
for
sure.
for going another level.
If there was somebody to take it.
From the premium side, we're very happy. I mean, we could always use more press and
Yeah.
more acknowledgement to quality rum. That's always going to be there. It's going to take still many years.
Right.
And we're hoping to be on the forefront of that. And you guys, this type of stuff really helps educate your listeners and other listeners.
And when we share it, our listeners are also vindicated because they're like, we do it. There's
Yep.
other places out there.
Yeah, and I'm not a tequila person, like I said. To me, I don't know if it's the sweetness from the rum that carries over. It really reminds me of like an agave syrup that I use as a sweetener that my wife kind of got me into when we moved out to California, and it's just I don't know. It's the sweetness is just delicious. You mentioned the honey whiskey. I think that's spot on. You mentioned to save this for last because it's kind of more of a dessert thing. It's delicious. The sweetness carries through. There's complexity to it. Again, as with everything else, there's zero ethanol burn to it. It's so easy to drink. I could see this being incredibly dangerous. At a get together after dinner, trying this.
It's a great couples drink.
Mhm.
It's incredible with a cigar. We haven't found a mixer that wasn't friendly to.
Yeah,
We
I
do a
can see
lot.
that.
We do a lot of different things with it.
So, and what is the price point for this?
That's
Retail
Mhm.
35.
That's
That's
killer.
amazing. That is amazing. That is
Good work, guys. Yeah.
the fact that you can do this at $35 and still succeed is just that's amazing. This is so
Yeah.
good.
Great job, guys. And on the sweetness note, I think a lot of people will like it because it's not too far into the sweetness, right? Like it does have that
right.
dessert quality,
Mhm.
but it's right down the middle. It's not overly sweet where some people just don't like sweet things, but this isn't
Yep.
overdoing that. So I think you're just hitting on all cylinders on this one. Good work on this one. Cheers to you guys on that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have you considered aging that bourbon in these barrels? Because I think that would
In what?
in the used barrels from this. Because I think that the used barrels of this might.
Yeah, I don't use barrel. Yeah, maybe in
There's all kinds of experiments that can still
Yeah.
be done.
For sure, for sure.
Definitely.
I'm definitely
Yeah,
not
we're-
the expert.
I mean, I want to say we're still very infantile, young in the bourbon category. It takes time. Everything we do, when you make everything takes time.
Yeah.
But hurry up and wait.
Yep. Well, you guys are doing amazing work. Again, a lot of the people we talk to are whiskey distillers, and so a lot of what we try on this show is whiskey. We have had some rum, and I'm so glad you guys are on the show and are sharing this with us because it's just mind blowing how easy to drink this is, how delicious. Literally everything we've tried has been. Like I said, there's been no burn on anything. It's just so approachable. It's the sweetness has carried through really across everything, whether it's been the corn from the whiskey or the rum. Everything has been so delicious. You're doing excellent work.
Yeah, and
Like when people walk in the door, I always say, I only promise you one thing. You've probably never had spirit like I make.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I appreciate
I don't guarantee anything else.
how each one has really stood on its own. Surely the approachability was a through note throughout and kind of a house style. But again, each one stands on its own. And I like that because, I find I'm more on the exploratory side, and there'll be a night where there's just that flavor that's kind of calling to me that I want to go back. And so again, with the unique flavors on each of the profiles of these, I could easily see like one night, you're like, ooh, I kind of want that corn sweetness and the graininess of it. I'll go back to that. Or ooh, I want that molassesy brown sugar from your rum that's got that sweet great note to it. So you guys are just doing fantastic work. I'm real glad
Everything
to
you
be on.
taste has that individuality
Yes.
to it
Yes.
that are so. Yeah, we have people remarking at the tasting bar all the time. How can these be from the same thing,
Yeah.
but yet so individual and different? And we're just like, well, Mother Nature, But because we don't add the color, we don't add the
Right.
flavor, we don't add the sugar, color, flavor, so it has to be Mother Nature in the process.
Well, I was gonna say the process, the art and science behind what you guys are doing there is a big thing too.
If you don't mind, I'd take a couple seconds and plug the actual facility. We've worked very hard. We have very nice tasting room. Of course, we offer cocktails, but we also have other items: olive oils, vinegars, chocolates, and we've kind of created a little oasis. We have a 108-year-old Pullman rail car that's an Italian restaurant. We have a 48 caboose that's an Airbnb. So even though we're in an industrial park, when you get to the property here again, you're like, whoa, how,
And
how, how can this be?
you guys have RV style parking and everything there too, don't you?
Yes.
That's part of the program, Harvest Host, and RV overnights, I believe. Boondockers is part of Harvest Host now, so all three of those we work with. But Catrinella's Family Restaurant Italian is in the train car now. We rent to them, and so we can enjoy our train car as customers now.
Yeah.
I'm just, when you come here, a lot of people are like, what else is there to do? And, basically, you can stay on property for 3 or 4 hours and entertain yourself. It's a, it's a, it's a surprise. That's
Yeah.
all I can tell you. Kind of like the ropes.
I was like, surprise, Arizona. No, not surprise, Arizona. Kingman.
We
So,
actually had customers from Surprise today.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you guys sent us a very generous selection of things to try. There's so much that we didn't talk about
Sure.
today, and we didn't try. You get sent some of your base spirits too that are great. I believe you guys sell them mostly as mixers, so I'm not sure how it'll compare to the 12 and the 6. So we do a cocktail show.
Yeah.
Is there anything that really stands out for you to use some of your base spirits in? Any cocktails that they've
Good
been
question.
perfect in?
This is her.
I would say the dark rum because that can make my mojito, my rum and coke.
Dark
You can
Stormies.
do dark and stormies with it. You can also cook with it. Foodies use it in the kitchen. You can use the dark and the agave in the kitchen, desserts, meat sauces, meat glazes, barbecue sauces,
Ooh.
stir fries. And that's not, counting all the different cocktails that it can be used with. Those two are my main go-tos. The vodka is sugarcane based.
Okay.
We use that in all of our vodka cocktails, and it's just smooth as silk.
It's very much like a Brazilian cachaça.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the agave. I mean, we do rum margaritas, one of our most popular cocktails here. It loves any kind of fruit juice. When we first started, we used to make the mistake of soaking pineapples with agave rum.
And the dark rum.
You have to pick people up off the floor.
Just make sure you take their keys first.
Yeah.
You're right.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. The agave is not going to make it past this interview, so I'm not going to be able to make anything else with it. So we'll save the dark rum for some barbecue sauce.
Yeah, we know where there's more.
For sure.
Dark rum and the agave rum, and luxurious vodka cocktails because it is very different. Um, you can sky's the limit. Have fun. She is
We
creative.
have a lot of recipes on our website
Okay.
on the recipe page. You can kind of see some of our recipes on there. Not all of our recipes are on there because we've done a lot over the last. I had like this Instagram thing, 16 cheers for 16 years going on, and so we just were making up cocktails just for that for the holidays, and that wrapped up. And now I'm thinking about spring, so we'll have to do some new ones.
It's gonna be
You have to remember, in my world, 2 rocks is a cocktail.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
true.
normally how I do it as well. But I do like a dark and stormy, so we do a cocktail hour. I say that might be our next one, and then we'll do some tasting talks. We still have the corn 6-year corn that we haven't tried today, and we've got the 10-year rum that we haven't tried today, and I am super looking forward to those. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a great spread for our tasting talks and our cocktail hour there. So
You know where there's more agave rum too if you need it.
yes,
So.
yeah,
We'll go to the website and buy some.
we'll go to the website, or
Yep.
and we encourage our listeners to do as well. And yeah, I just want to thank you guys, John, Deborah, for your generosity in the spirits. Let's pour up a little bit of whichever one we want that really tickled our fancy. I think I really like the 6-year rum. That was kind of my favorite. We'll get a little cheers going on in your guys' honor. And yeah, just want to give you guys thanks, and definitely this is an authentic singing your guys' high praises. And we're, like I said, when we started out the interview, super glad that you guys are our first Arizona distillery, and we're really happy to put that pin on the map for you guys. So cheers to John and Deborah, Desert Diamond Distillery out of Kingman, Arizona. Thanks for help.
Be your first, but not your last.
Yes, yeah,
There's a lot.
Pretty good ones.
There's some good distilling going on in Arizona.
okay. Yeah, we'll have to do a little exploration.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thanks for the adventure.
Cheers.
And cheers.
Happy New Year, all.
Happy New Year.